Hey everybody. So I got some more stuff I want to express. Hope you guys are doing all right. And so I'm not used to spending time with people, um, especially this past year. I've been on my own. Like even amongst the family, like we all pretty much do our own thing. Yeah, we see each other throughout the day and say what's up, but we all stay in our own space and do our own thing. They eat dinner together, but I come down here and eat on my own. And it's a lifestyle that I've gotten used to. It's not, I've learned to embrace it. I'd love to be around more people, but I say that, but at the same time, like I have to be honest with who I am. And again, I've said this before, but this may be new to some of you guys. But when I went on that spiritual mission to New Orleans and to meet Zen Atman, didn't work out with Zen, which is fine. I mean, he sent me very positive words after that experience, actually saying that I could come back if I wanted to. So there was no hard feelings between me and Zen over that. I just want to make that clear too. I ended up meeting Joshua, whom I have said and still believe is God. And he's the one who told me that he was curious. He's like, "Who's this dude's anointing?" Because we were talking like all. It was the first day we met. And we spent the whole day talking and walking all over. He showed me the park and places. The park. We walked all around. It's a big park. We walked around the park, Lafayette Park, I think. And then we kind of came back to where we met, which was near where we met, which was this strip mall where the Cajun Kitchen was and other stores that they kind of hang out at. And it was there, sitting on the ground. I think we were smoking some cigarettes. And he asked the spirit. He looked at me and he was really concerned. He was like, "I still don't know what your anointing is." And it was only a few seconds, or maybe about 30 45 seconds later, he was like, "Oh, you're the Buddha." And so he told me that I was the Buddha. And upon hearing it, I was like, okay, I can kind of see that. But then the following days that preceded, I spent some time thinking about that. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like at the time in my life, this was probably a little over 5 years ago. Even though I had just started drinking again a little bit, but I had just spent like a year and a half working out very intensely, smoking a lot of weed, but not drinking or doing any heavy drugs. It was just a lot of working out, smoking weed, making videos, reading, writing. I had gotten myself very strong physically, but I still had a war inside of my soul. Like I was still very much angry and conflicted and didn't know what to do with myself and had the desire to want to fight, but I didn't even know what to fight or how to go about fighting it or any of these things. So when he told me that I was the Buddha, like I was like, "Are you sure, dude?" Because I've had some really volatile thoughts. Like I've expressed how when I was younger, I used to walk around schools, imagining, essentially, it's more of just a rage, just to want to like rip everything up, to destroy everything. Yes, to kill people. The people that I was around, I was possessed with a very demonic spirit that just wanted to destroy. I also wanted to destroy with the intent of creating something better, but that when I was in that destroy mode, that demonic mode of just wanting to destroy everything, that's really all I was able to think about. And that's not good. I'm not saying that's a good place to be or anything like that. It was a long time ago. Sometimes little bits of that come back to me. But at that time, like there were periods when I would walk around these halls and just be consumed with that feeling. And I was doing a lot of bad stuff at the time. I was a very lost and confused young. I mean, so much so I had a lot of females come up to me, like because I went to a charter school, a small charter school for a while, and I ended up being like the mysterious bad kid that didn't really have any friends, but everybody was kind of like curious about and also kind of afraid of, because I did a lot of drugs. I didn't really listen to anybody. Like the teachers would try to tell me what to do, and I'd kind of listen, but I'd also just like walk off on campus whenever I wanted to. I actually ended up making one of my science teachers cry, and I just did whatever the fuck I wanted. Sometimes it was stuff that was cool and nice and helpful, and sometimes it was just whatever the fuck I wanted. And even with females, they would come and be like, "Oh, I want to teach you how to be a boyfriend, girlfriend, and I'm gonna slap your leg." I mean, these are like the hottest girls in the school too, and I would just be like, like it just didn't interest me because I was so consumed with my own emotional darkness, like what they had to offer was just, wasn't relatable. There was nothing relatable there, so I just knew it wasn't gonna work. Um, and you know, it's just I'm sharing you guys to give you guys a little bit of who I am and how intense I am and why it's difficult for me to relate to other people. And it's also just for me to realize who I am in the scheme of things, because a lot of the times I forget how different I am. So like this stuff to me is common knowledge, like the hemp, the saving the children, the higher vibrations, the love, the nonprofit. This is all very common sense to me, but that's me. To you guys, this is stuff that you guys still don't even really know. So it's good for me to humble myself and kind of take myself down a few notches and realize that I am here to help humanity, and I do have a piece to share, as we all do. And because I've gotten to know myself so well over these years, I'm able to deliver that in a very authentic way because I've just had the time. You know, even me not having to work and all this stuff has allowed me the time to focus on me. And a lot of people don't have that. So this is why I'm able to do these things. But in doing so, I've also found out who I am and what I need to do. And because I am working and living in my purpose, and I know how serious and dire of a purpose it is right now in the specific time that we're in, I know that I really need to push it as hard as I can to get this done if we're to be successful, because there's a very serious possibility that humankind will not make it through. The majority of humankind will fail at being humans, at passing the test to really ascend and learn about the knowledge of good and evil, which is what I think we're here to do, and which is what the test is really about, that we're all about to have to take, like the final test. Like, no more time, your time is over, you've had your time, you've had the messages, you've had the lessons, you ain't got it yet, you ain't gonna get it, you're gonna have to go back and do it again. We're getting very close to that point, and it comes back to what you do with what you're able to do with. So whatever you have, whether it's your voice, your heart, your love, money, tools, experience, wisdom, whatever it is, if you're not using it in a very loving way, and I'm not saying we're all at different levels, so I'm not saying give away all your money, but if you have $100 million, you can give away a couple million of it and still be totally fine. Especially if we're in the last days. What are you gonna? You're not even gonna be able to use all that money. That's the thing. A lot of you dudes with all this cash, you guys are just sitting on it, and you're gonna end up losing it, which is losing an opportunity, which is in itself is neglect, because that money was given there, and if you ain't gonna do nothing with